Welcome to Open Campus Soft Skills Course, Module 6, Part 2, Time Management. In this module, you will learn how to use time professionally and time management tips. As a recap, what is time management? Time management is the effective or productive use of time on the job or with a specific activity. There are two areas of time management that we're going to focus on: using time wisely and using time professionally. For the purposes of this module, we will focus on using time professionally. When we think about using time professionally, one of the things that come to mind is to be able to follow through on commitments. Write down a commitment and set a deadline. It is important that you write down what you say you're going to do and give yourself a deadline as to when it will be completed. Keep your word. If you agree to do a certain task or to serve in a certain capacity, it's important that you keep your word and try to honor it as best you can. And if you see that you are not able to complete a particular task, advise the individual or the group that you have given your word to as soon as possible if things change regarding that commitment. Next, honor scheduled appointments, phone calls, meetings. If you set a certain date, a certain time to have a meeting, it's important that you honor that particular commitment because you are showing respect for the individuals that have dedicated a specific amount of time to work with you, and you're also showing a level of commitment to yourself and holding yourself accountable to that particular appointment that you have scheduled. When you're using time professionally, it's important to fulfill assigned or volunteered task. If you say that you're going to do it, do it. Don't try to make up excuses or find ways out of it. Always fulfill your assigned task or volunteered activities. Even if things change and you see that you're not able to do it exactly when you originally scheduled the deadline, be open, be forthright, and let people know when things are changing. Individuals are more likely to work with you if you keep them in the loop and let them know what's going on. And last but not least, always plan to succeed. Even if it looks like it's a difficult task, even if you find that you're not moving along as quickly or as easily or as you had scheduled to move, always plan to succeed. And that means always plan to complete the task. No matter what, finish what you've started. Another way to use time professionally is to deliver prompt service. It's important to arrive on time for meetings, to follow up on calls, emails, or referrals immediately. Anytime you make a contact or you network and meet someone and you say that you're going to give them a call within the next week, or you're going to send them requested information by a certain time, follow up. Follow up is really where the sweet spot is, especially when you're making new connections in the professional realm. Always follow up on calls, emails, any type of inquiry or referrals that you get, especially referrals because someone has given a vote of confidence to your skills and to your capabilities to tell someone else about who you are and what you do. So always make it a point to follow up on referrals. In delivering prompt service, it's important to fulfill your services or to deliver your projects or to deliver your products rather by the scheduled time. And even after you've completed the service and the delivery, it's a great thing to do, and that is to show appreciation and gratitude for the opportunity to provide a service or to deliver a product to a customer. That way, you will always stay top of mind. Effective use of resources is another way to use your time professionally. In our workplace, we live in an age where we are focusing on recycling, reducing, and reusing when it comes down to our work environment and to our personal environment. Ways to be effective with your resources on the job is to print and copy paper on both sides as often as possible. This will alleviate the extra paper that you'll be using, and it also shows that you're conscientious about your environment and trying to find ways to recycle. Use electronic communication and data storage. Anytime you're able to go into the cloud, that's another way of communicating and saving information sort of via the internet. It's a great way to minimize extra storage and filing cabinets on the job, but it's also a way to where you can be accessible to your information, whether you're at work or if you're working from home on a particular project. Junk mail, multiple mailings, and past worker mail are things that can easily be recycled. You can put it in the recycle bin and know that it is going to go back to a useful purpose in a different way. Be sure to update your mailing lists and to remove duplicate information. If you are sending out letters or postcards or monthly newsletters, if you have multiple contacts for the same address, you're not only using more paper, but you're also adding to your postage expenses. So if you're able to go in and kind of flesh out the mailing list to make certain that you have not only a current mailing list, but all duplicated information has been removed. Another way to use your resources effectively is to don't use professional supplies for personal use. That may be something that appears to be, it should go without saying, but when you have materials, supplies, equipment that's dedicated to the work that you perform on the job, that is in a professional capacity. Do not use your professional materials for your personal use. It might be tempting, or you may see that there's no harm in doing that. But what you're doing is really impacting the bottom line for the company that you work for. Anytime that you are absorbing materials, papers, pens, printer ink, copier cartridges, you're taking away from a price point that has been budgeted for those various items. So separate your personal use, your personal affairs and business affairs from your professional affairs. You don't want to overlap and get into a gray area when it comes down to utilizing certain resources. Remember, when you are using your time professionally, you're finding ways to be effective in the resources for the company that you work for. Don't overstock inventory. Know what's available and know what is needed down the line. That's going to keep you from having large surplus pieces of information, of inventory on site. Here are some time management tips. Prepare a to-do list. We talked about that earlier, where you're listing your top 1 to 5 or 1 to 10 items that you're to complete. Write them down at the top of the day or the night before, and that way, as you accomplish them, you can scratch them off the list and get a sense of accomplishment, a sense of fulfillment that you are reaching your designated goals for that day. Be realistic about your goals and objectives. Don't try to pile on a lot of things, a lot of responsibilities in a short period of time. Learn how to delegate to others. Oftentimes we may think that delegation is a sign of weakness. Actually, it's a sign of strength, showing that you realize that project is bigger than you and you're needing the support from others. A word of advice is to not wait until the last minute to ask for assistance. From your coworkers, from your supervisor, always be upfront and forthright as soon as possible. Make every moment count. Try to complete as many tasks as possible daily. Use a reminder system. Send yourself text alerts, voicemails, even calendar alerts when you're wanting to stay on top of particular projects that have a specific deadline or it's time sensitive. Schedule in the everyday basics. We talked about that, and we have that listed here. Write down all of the information and activities that you're needing for your daily schedule, as well as your events and activities that you're putting into your calendar on a daily or on a weekly or monthly basis. Omit distractions. When you are in the workplace and you find that there's a lot of chatter going on, it's okay to close your door. It's okay to turn down the music or to not watch television when you're working from home. Don't procrastinate. Don't wait until the last minute to get activities done. Also, stay positive and stay around positive people. Avoid gossip and idle time. Consolidate regular daily work activities. To keep from having to check email over and over again in the day, or checking your voicemail throughout the day, or returning a series of phone calls every hour or two. Consolidate those activities that you do on a regular basis. For instance, with email, check your email one time during the morning, one time around lunchtime or at early afternoon, and one time before the end of the business day. That will keep you more focused on the task at hand and not having to volley from email, responding, getting back to your task that you're needing to get focus and put priority on. Consolidate those times. Clear the clutter out of your mind and your work area. Stay focused, stay centered, remove extra paperwork that you might find on your desk. And last but certainly not least, take a technology timeout. Send your voicemail, send your phone calls to voicemail. Check your email only during the designated times. Return phone calls during a designated time, and try to avoid getting on social media and getting caught up in news feeds and really time takers to where you're not focused on the activities at hand. Now we're going to go to our Quiz 6 Time Management quiz, because it's going to include information from both Module 6 Part 1 and Part 2.